All right, so we're here with Steve Crawford, better known as Nuke Lanta on TikTok, the A-list Georgia celebrity on social media. This is
more like E-list.
E-list,
but I like the A. We're moving up every day.
He's got a letter. I don't even have a letter yet. I'm still in the numbers. But so this is my first attempt at a podcast, and so I was thinking of Clayco Conversations or Conversations in Clayco because everybody knows me. I'm the king of Clayco. I've been here for 41 plus years. Gang. That's right. Oh, Jesus. Oh, not seriously. Don't hurt me. But anyway, so, this is the first time that you and I have actually met in person, but we kind of had some interactions on TikTok and social media. So just let people know who you are and, how you became the alphabet letter celebrity that you are on TikTok.
Yeah, right on. Well, I am the 2024 recipient of the Georgia State Fire Officer of the Year.
That's right.
No, I'm a 17-year firefighter for Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services, and I live on the west side by Six Flags and everything. But Clayton County is the only fire department I've ever been a part of, and so I do that. Father of three, content creator, meme maker. I do a few things. I'm tall.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit funny sometimes.
Right.
So that's what I do. But what I specialize in at the fire department is I do hazardous materials. I'm the leader on my shift of the mentor team, and we do a lot of retention and making sure people have a good first year. And then I do a ton of recruitment. So I help people become firefighters that are interested in the business. We get more people from out of state become firefighters than most places. And we have a great scene to become a firefighter easily in Georgia, mainly Clayton County. So I just make videos when we're hiring, and I set up phone calls with folks and help them get in. So that's what I'm about for the most part.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about how you came up with, I guess, your handle and how you started kind of gaining traction on social media.
Okay. So this is a very funny origin. So I had a live action role playing game event called Fallout Nuke Lanta. And I'm an Atlanta man for life. I'm never going to move.
Right.
And so I was just making like a Fallout universe camping event with airsoft and Nerf and everything where you're in the Fallout world over the weekend. And so I was going to name it Nuke Lanta. And that's like the southeastern region there from the Fallout universe that, I had made. So I did that for like 9 years. And then I ended up making a festival out of it too. For like 5 years, I'd rent a junkyard in North Georgia, and we would party and ride go-karts, and it was crazy.
Did you use bottle caps as currency?
Yeah, we used bottle caps as currency, and we had like the little perk cards they have in the game for us, and it was a great time. We peaked at maybe 150 people over the weekend.
Yeah,
and so it was just time to where I was ready to move on from it. So, but I've always mixed personal brand with business brand.
Right.
It's never been like, I don't want to run 2 pages or 3.
Right.
I always it's whatever I'm into at the time I'm going to move to.
Yeah.
So, that name, that was my biggest business venture, was doing Nuke Lanta. So I liked it a lot. I ended up giving it to my right-hand man, and he was able to run it. They rebranded it to Carolina Radlands. It's something you can still go to today. I go sometimes still. And so I just kept the handle and moved on. But my social media stuff was taking off a ton. And if you're trying to get into LARPing as a business, it can be fun, but it's one of the most niche things you can do on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's mega socially unacceptable in a normal workplace to be like a LARPer, especially in the fire department, where everything is hunting, fishing, football, working out, and masculinity, and you have a mega nerdy hobby. So I was known as the LARPer for a while. It took me a long time to shake it to where I could kind of come out on my own and do I had to rebrand myself some. But what had happened was during COVID, my main friend group was at my fire station. And so I started doing TikTok and making a few skits and stuff. And it was just like a fun, relaxing thing to decompress and make some content. And I would just film a little bit of what I would cook and stuff like that. And everything I would post, 20,000 views, 10,000 views. And I was like, this is crazy. Cause I'd run this LARPing page and LARPing YouTube for years and had like maybe 2,000 followers. And so instantly this was taking off. And I had all these like ladies tell me how hot I was, which I'd never heard before in my life.
Yeah.
And so it was just instant success. And so we had fun with it. And then I was starting to be known as Lieutenant TikToker on the station instead of the LARPer.
Right.
And so I just had a lot of fun with it. And I doubled down on that and then started doing more other stuff. But that's the origin there through the COVID fun.
Yeah.
Is how I got the party started.
Okay. And what's kind of like your content about? Do you have a specific type of content? Is it just about firefighting? Is it about LARPing? Is it about something else?
So I have like two things I do a lot of, I guess I'm most well known for, and it'll be like either nerdy stuff or firefighting. So on TikTok, my main community is going to be firefighters. So, and then on like Facebook and Instagram, I'm well known for like my nerdy stuff and my memes and stuff. So like, I'll just say on TikTok, I got like 70,000 followers. And then on Meta, I've got like 500,000. So I kind of customize it to each more so. But I do like a ton of firefighter stuff. So like, I'll do like a day in the life of a firefighter. I'll just be like, okay, we just ran this difficulty breathing and the patient sexually harassed us mildly. And, just whatever little funny things and just kind of what we do. Because people, it might be boring to firefighters, but to the outside world, it's very interesting to see what we do. And it helps raise awareness for what we do and helps, potentially more people get into the business because they're like, that looks like a lot of fun. Which firefighting is a lot of fun. Yeah. So I highly recommend it. And then I do a lot of recruitment, like I said, and then a lot of cooking videos. I cook at home a lot. I cook twice at the fire department. So it's just fun to show people what that's about. And then anytime I go anywhere, it's like an opportunity for content creation. Mm-hmm. So if I go to a restaurant, I'll usually do a 1-minute video of whatever I'm doing. And I'm in the top 10% in America for food reviewers on Google Review.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
But it's not a ton of people do it, and it's just easy. So I've had, and then I do some like venue reviews. Like I went to the MJQ Concourse, which is like a 25-year-old plus establishment. And it's in like an underground garage in a parking lot over in Atlanta by the Pond City Market. And it's such a cool venue and it's super neat. So I just did like a little 1-minute video about it and it got like 200,000 views and all the locals were like, stop, delete this. Don't tell nobody about MJQ.
Right. This is our secret.
So I do stuff like that. And then it's usually not, I don't get a ton of traction from it, but I go to comic conventions all year long because I am mega nerdy at heart.
Sure.
I know I look like big tough fireman, but I do a ton of comic conventions. I do go to a few LARPs here and there still, but I'll go to like Dragon Con and I'll just film stuff. And then every now and then that will do well too. Just the oddities and weird things you see there are bizarre to the average person, or it's really neat. So I did have a few Fallout costumers. I noticed like a giant crowd taking their photo. I was on the way to the Fallout photo shoot myself. And I just did a little 1-minute video of them. And it got, it made like $1,300 of just their video of them standing around getting their photos made because their costumes were so neat. It looked like the auto aiming slow motion mechanic in the video game, and people thought it was like CGI and stuff. Yeah, and it was just their cool, high quality, translucent prints and stuff they made. So it was cool to able to get them some traction on there and get everyone tagged and. I repost that video every year to do well. But so that's mainly the content I do. But then I also make memes. I make memes for about 2 hours a day, mainly video memes. But the easy video photo memes, I do a little bit of that too. So that's my bread and butter. And then every now and then I do Airbnbs in my basement. So I do like a lot of home renovations. And I'm father of 3, so sometimes I'll do like dad talk or stuff with them. Some of our like hikes at Sweetwater Creek and stuff. Okay.
So it sounds like you got a good mix of kind of something for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. I've got I think most people who follow me know that I've got a meme page. We were talking about that earlier about lawyer memes, and it's kind of fell off a little bit. So I'm trying to, I've created a lot of content. I just haven't posted it. But, you were telling me how many videos or things you post a day. Like, telling me now that we're doing this, like on the record, how many times are you posting?
Well, meme lord to meme lord. I'll share
Yes.
my secret. Yeah.
Yes.
So I do 20 videos a day. And then every now and then, if I get too busy, I will repost old videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got like a nice meme folder of like 1,000 videos that I've made.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty bulletproof, where they've got like the copyrighted music's gone. I put a lot of old retro video game music in it from like the Nintendo.
Yeah.
So you're never going to run any trouble there. And then I make a funny caption on it. And then I just repost something that's already very viral. And then while I'm posting it and I'm waiting on like Facebook or Instagram to like upload my video, I might see something funny on there pop up. I'll grab that, add a new caption to it. And a lot of times it's just like the most popular comment out of the whole thing that was already posted, and I'll just add it, or, whatever. And then, so I'll usually post 20 videos a day of that. And then I'll post usually 10 photo memes. And then the goal is to make 3 of my very own videos for the day too. But, if that slacks off, I don't worry about it.
All right. So what's one of the craziest situations that you have handled as a firefighter in Clayco?
Okay. So I was thinking about one of the juiciest, funniest stories. So,
Okay.
We have a lot of conventions in Clayton County, mainly in the College Park side.
Yes.
And so I came in on a Friday morning, and we ran a person injured at one of the convention centers. So we pull up at 7 a.m. in the morning, and outside the convention center is someone done up at 7 a.m. in full head to toe goth with like makeup on and leather. And so and they were smoking a cigarette in the awning. And I was like, that's odd. You just don't see that a lot in Clayton County. So we went in and we got in the elevator, and it had all of these advertisements taped to the elevator on paper. There was like spankings at 2 a.m. at room 114 and stuff like that. And so we get there, and it's a fetish convention. And so, we took care of business, helped everybody out, but it was mega funny to not know what we were going in. And they're like, y'all should come back tomorrow when you get off. And
Off the clock.
Yeah. And so we looked at the content the next day, and it was so scary. None of us were comfortable going, but it was very funny, the different conventions, from basketball to fetish conventions. So check it all out.
And is this at the World Congress Center? Or no?
It was at one of the hotels.
One of the hotels.
Okay. The hotels will
yeah.
have rooms for everybody. Then they'll have a few like spaces where they can do their big content, like a fashion show or a cosplay. And then they'll have other rooms for panels like Spanking 101.
What was did it have a weird smell to it in there?
I think it was okay, because I feel like I wasn't in any of the actual fun rooms. I was in the little security office helping out the patient. So.
Yeah. Wow.
But
I can only imagine.
Yeah, there's that was funny, and there's always so many funny obscure things we run into when we talked. Like a lot of times as a lieutenant, I don't do a ton of hands-on most of the normal calls, and I'll just talk with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, so what are y'all cooking later? Yeah. And, Meatball's getting, her blood pressure checked and stuff.
Right.
And one time this guy, he was sitting on the recliner, and I was just chatting with him, and he had his shirt off and tattooed over his nipples. On one nipple was sweet and the other one was sour. And it was so funny to see in his Navy days, he got that tattooed, and he was like, an older gentleman.
Yeah.
And it was funny every time we would come back. I'd be like, "What's up, sweet and sour man?" And he was like, "Hey, Mr. Fireman, good to see you."
Oh my God. Yeah, I had our own incident with the fire department on January 1st of this year. Like normal people, I mean, we went and bought fireworks to celebrate, and we shot them off in the street. And, there's not many houses on my street. And so I'm thinking, after 30, 40 minutes, hey guys, let's clean all this up. We don't want to leave this on the street. Like, don't want the neighbors to be mad at us or look trashy or anything like that. So, we gather everything up, make sure that everything is put out. And we're still doing renovations on the house. And we put it in one of those big industrial sized dumpsters. No problem. About 3:00 in the morning, I'm taking my father-in-law home, and my wife calls me in a panic, and she's like, "Oh my God, the dumpster's on fire!" And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing calling me for? Like, call the fire department. Like, what am I gonna do about it?
I depend on you, baby."
Yeah, I'm 15 miles away. Like, there's nothing I can do. And so she sends me pictures of like flames 8 feet in the air, no more than 12 feet away from our house.
Wow. That's spicy.
Yes. We were coming in hot in 2025. And she calls the fire department. Luckily, they're on half a mile away, and they come and they put it out and everything. And like the side mirror to my truck is melted. Like the door handle is melted. And I'm like, man, what the hell? So I talked to the firemen there, and they're like, yeah, this is kind of late for us to be coming out for a New Year's fire. They're like, usually it's around 12:30, 1:30. Like, this is 3:00 in the morning. And I told them what had happened. And they're like, yeah, dude, like when you shoot off fireworks, just leave them there overnight to make sure that they're all done before you put them in, because all it takes is one little spark, one little ember for everything to catch on fire.
That's crazy. Well, the king of Clayco goes late in the party.
Nah, so that's right. I was like, hey, fellas, I don't know where y'all been, but like we're rocking until late night over here, man.
Yeah. Bring the boat next time.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So I know you work closely with the police and the sheriff's office and everything. So I've noticed something funny. The big difference between the two is the size difference of the employees working at the sheriff's office. They're just significantly bigger. They remind me a lot of the mercenary team from Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And it's like all these guys are massive. And it is so funny seeing this comparison, the police versus the sheriff's deputies. So
I never actually thought about that, but now I guess maybe because a lot of what the sheriff's office is doing is, at the jail. And so you don't want to have, typically smaller people. You want to have somebody that can handle themselves with all the inmates and stuff like that. But that is interesting. Maybe they just eat better.
Maybe they eat better.
Yeah.
It's probably all comes down to chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the police officers need to just eat a little more chicken.
That's right. Get your protein in, CCPD.
Yeah.
I also know like they have like the lunch hall or the dining area in the courthouse where the sheriff's office is. I don't think CCPD has that.
See, I'm glad we mentioned it. It's a nourishment issue.
So
good. So
we should bring this up to the commissioners.
Yeah.
And have them build a lunch hall for CCPD.
We're going to get right on it. When I worked in Riverdale at Station 4 for like 3 years, we ran so much with the police officers there. We would always invite them over for dinner. Yeah. And they were always extremely hungry. Yeah. And they would always go. And sometimes my crew would get mad that, hey, we don't want them to come here. Police versus fire. We don't associate with them if we don't have to. But it was nice to build camaraderie and hang out with them. And,
have some interdepartmental relations.
Yeah.
Versus
one of the policemen ended up dating one of our firefighters through those hangouts. So you gotta look out. Yeah. So
that's what's up. I can't shake this damn cough, man. I've had this cough for like 2.5 months. Man. Yeah, it went away for a little bit, and then this week it came back. So I think I need to go and get some steroids from the urgent care or something.
Yeah, you need to get that. You need to stop drinking so much coffee.
I gave up coffee.
Did you?
Yeah, I gave up coffee the beginning of 2024. We were up in Asheville, North Carolina, a little bit north of Asheville for celebrating the new year from 2023, 2024. And my side just started hurting. Like I remember we were playing Scrabble or Uno or something like that. And the left side of my body started hurting. And I was like, I wonder if it was just this Coke that I had drank. It was in the truck all day long. And I'm like, maybe it was just bad. And so thought nothing of it. This is like 10 o'clock at night. 2 hours go by, my side's still hurting. And I'm like, damn, this sucks. So, I'm on, of course, I turned to Dr. Google to see what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it might just be some indigestion or some gas. So I'm like, all right, man, I just need to go and poop. So I go to the restroom, try to do that. That doesn't work. By this time, like everybody's asleep and my side is still hurting. And I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on here. I try to lay on my back, lay on each side, lay on my stomach. Like nothing is helping me at this point. Another hour goes by. I'm like, all right, maybe I just need some Tums or something. That doesn't work. So I'm like, shit. And we're in the middle of nowhere, dude. It's like bumblefuck North Carolina. So I go downstairs because my wife and I and the kids are staying on the upper floor. I go downstairs and I just basically kind of just collapse in the recliner and I fall asleep. I wake up and I'm like, whew, man, all right, cool. It's been 2 or 3 hours. It had been 8 minutes. And my side was still hurting me. And so I'm just walking around like, man, I just need to use the bathroom, burp, something. Nope. I go back, sit in a recliner, fall asleep again. Wake up, I'm like, all right, surely it's been an hour or two. It had been like 6 minutes. And by this point, it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just wake my wife up. I'm like, I've got to call an ambulance. Like, I cannot do this shit. They come and they swear up and down it's my appendix. And I'm like, bro, it's not my appendix. It's not on both sides. It's just on the left side. So they get me in the.
Maybe it was your left appendix and not your right.
I don't know, but at that point, obviously, I didn't know. So they get me in an ambulance, and they give me some. They're like, yeah, we're gonna give some fentanyl. I'm like, bro, are you trying to kill me?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. That's not that. Like, it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You're not taking that much.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like, it's going to help you with this pain. I promise. They give it to me, nothing. And like,
you're in a lot of pain.
I was in a lot of pain. They're like, do you want more? I'm like, no, bro. Like, just get me to the hospital. So we get to they're telling me, I'm like, is this hospital any good? They're like, not really. But it's really great for trauma patients. So I'm guessing it's kind of like Grady. Like Grady sucks if you got a stomach ache, but if you've been shot or stabbed, you want to go to Grady. You don't want to go to Southern Regional or Fayette Piedmont or whatever, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, well, am I considered like a trauma or whatever? They're like, yes. I'm like, cool. So they get me in there, still in pain. Finally, they give me morphine. Morphine, I felt like I was floating. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like it took away all of my pain, right? They do a CT scan. It was my gallbladder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Apparently 50% of my gallbladder was like rotted, like straight up rotted. And they were like, dude, you're lucky you don't like a piece didn't fall off into your stomach and you get sepsis and die.
Yeah.
And so they had to do emergency gallbladder surgery to take it out.
Gosh.
And so ever since then, I have not drank because, what is it? Your gallbladder creates bilirium or something like that to help you digest, break down fatty things. So no caffeine since January of 2024.
Okay. Well, way to make the lifestyle change.
Yeah.
That is tough to do, especially, being, our age and stuff. It's hard to make those changes.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about your discipline. That's awesome.
I haven't given up the fatty foods enough quite yet.
I mean, they got a lot of good soul food and fried chicken here.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I gave it up. I haven't had an energy drink, no energy drinks, no coffee, nothing with caffeine for over a year, for just over a year.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sorry you had to go through that.
I know. Me too.
I'm glad you got the root cause.
Exactly.
And you made some good lifestyle changes to check it out.
Exactly. Now, if I could just stop eating like a pig.
I know.
I'd be healthy.
I have learned that it is tough, when you get 40 plus to start, losing weight and stuff. It's really like my part-time job, always trying to stay fit and to try to make good food choices. What I had done a lot over the last 3 years, I've had a few troubles staying my lean self that I like to be in. And what I would do is I would lose a lot of weight, and then I would go on a cruise, or I'd go to a comic convention weekend, or I'd go to a music festival and drinking beers, and then being like, we're going to get Thai food, we're going to get Mexican.
Yeah.
And I would just let loose for the weekend, and I would gain 10 and 12 pounds back. and then it would take another 2 months to lose it. And I was like, I have got to stop celebrating.
Yeah.
So it is funny to do similar changes. I usually will drink 1 cup of coffee, then go to decaf, and I don't really. I drink a little alcohol, but
I'm trying. At a certain point, I may just give up and be like, man, YOLO. If I'm meant to be 400 pounds, then that just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, just call 911. They'll take care of you, baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, you stated you've been working in a county. It's the only one that you've been a firefighter in. How has that experience been? Or have you heard stories about other jurisdictions and comparing it to Clayton?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're in the honeypot here as far as the fire department. I remember when there was like the riots during the COVID era, and we had so many people. We go to the grocery store. One, we didn't have any riots in Clayton County.
Right.
Everybody's very respectful to their community they live in. And then also, when we would go to the grocery store to go buy our food that we were going to cook, everyone would hug us and they'd be like, we just want to check on y'all. How are you guys doing? You know, we love you. And that's the entire experience I've ever had here, where people are very grateful for the services we provide, and they genuinely care and love us. And anytime we go places, they'll be like, come back, y'all can have a pool party in my backyard. Thanks for taking care of my mom. Hey, I'm cooking dinner at 5, you want to come by? And people will bring us stuff all the time. I've been to Chick-fil-A and Waffle House several times where everything's paid for. People just bless us all the time, and it's a really nice community to work for. So it's been a blessing being a part of it, and that's not universal everywhere. And then as far as the fire department goes, we have such a strong culture of like kindness and acceptance. People see the culture that I celebrate from my online videos, and they're like, man, that looks so much better than my fire department. Does it have? And so mental health is huge in the fire service and public safety in general. And to have somewhere where you can be happy that you're working at, and you're not stressed out, you're not fighting with your coworkers all day, bullying each other and stuff. And you can feel like you're truly in a fire department family. And we have monthly mental health meetings with our chaplain, Little. And it is like such a nice place to work, for real. And we have a younger fire department now. Like, I'm considered one of the most senior officers there, and I've only been there 17 years. And we have so many. We just had a bunch of lieutenants get promoted in their older 20s, and it's nice the opportunity it presents. And with young folks, a lot of times they are eager to invest in people. They're eager to teach, and a lot of folks that have been there for 30, 28 years, it's very hard for them to sometimes want to give back and to nurture young people. They would rather just do their time until they retire. Yeah. So we have a very nice group of people mentoring and helping there. So I think that's great. And I like when we go to like the career day events at the high schools, or we'll go a church event, we'll have us out there and we'll hang out. Everybody in Clayco, for the most part, is very nice. There's a very small percentage of anyone that's causing trouble. And it's unfortunate, but that's going to be in any county, any city. Exactly. And for the most part, we have a really nice community where they have the church events and all the sports, and the roller skating spot, and a lot of cool places to hang out. So
yeah. How many people do you have, I guess, in y'all's precinct or in your kind of area jurisdiction where you're at?
I'm in a lower population area. I run the hazmat team on A shift. And we are stationed at 285 and 75 on the north side. Okay. So it's a ton of commercial districts. It's a ton of square footage, but not a ton of people inside those, warehouses and stuff. And then we get a ton of people driving through. Yeah. But I only have a few apartment complexes that I respond to, or extended stay hotels. So I don't have a ton. But like when I worked in Riverdale over there, on Riverdale Road at like East Fayetteville Road. Yeah. That's one of the most densely populated places in the state. So we had a ton of people. And
what about working for you or with you at the fire department? How many employees or coworkers do you have?
I have 6 total, including myself. And so we hang out. I've had as many as maybe 11 or 12 before. But currently it's usually just 5 of us, 3 on the engine, 2 on the ambulance. Okay. And then if we get a hazmat response, we'll jump on the hazmat truck and bring that with us too.
Have you had any conversations with what was it out in like Conyers when that chemical plant exploded? Have you had any contact or talked to any of the fire people over in that jurisdiction when that happened?
Yeah, as a hazmat specialist, it was very interesting to me and like a terrible tragedy to have that many people suffer a lot of chlorine issues.
It was even down here, like you could smell it in Jonesboro.
Right, it smelled like a pool over here. So what we did on the hazmat team, and we have like so many awesome gadgets. And so I busted out the air monitoring equipment, and we have like this chip device that has a chlorine specialty tool we put into the device, and it takes the air and shows you how many parts per million it is. So I was able to like sample the air, and then me and firefighter Johnson made a diagram on the dry erase board of what that means for the community, what the levels are here, and what chlorine is, and what's safe for how many hours to be exposed to it. And I posted it, on TikTok, of course, and then I posted it in the Clayton County Mom and Dad's group.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, thank you, firefighters, so much for answering questions that no one's talking about. And so that's what we did during the plume. And it was good to give our recommendations, and our fire chief was very happy to, get the readings and give some answers to the community. Yeah,
I remember like that was just a crazy thing because, I'm in the personal injury field, and apparently that's not the first time that particular location had a catastrophe happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were around the last time it happened. I think it's somewhere around 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot from there. And then I've talked with people through it. People have contacted me from all the content I made on it.
Yeah.
And some of the vendors and stuff have said this spot was not mega safe. They didn't use a lot of the recommendations that people were getting them to upgrade and stuff. So that's a bad time all around. And we have a few firefighters that live in that city.
Yeah.
That it's unfair to everybody there, and it's just a difficult situation. So it's nice they're trying to right the wrongs afterwards, right. And hopefully everyone can get some respirations for everything they went through.
Exactly.
I saw Danny on TikTok just organically, and I thought it was fun. And I saw him after seeing him on TikTok. I saw the back of his head at Kroger one time over by Clayton State.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fast walk and see him, but you had already gone out, and I had to check out first.
Oh, you should have just yelled at me like,
Danny, we're going to be friends.
Get over here. Scorpion.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see, but I had seen your content, and it was so funny seeing your videos about being Clayton County born and raised, and you're a homeowner here, you're a business owner here.
Yeah.
And it was so funny seeing your interview with other Clayton County folks.
Yeah.
And you just chatting with them, and people not knowing you're from here, and you're like, no, baby, born and bred. And so it's just such a funny thing. So it was cool to see you, and I was excited to meet, and we get to hang out, and Clayco's a cool spot. So it was fun seeing what you were all about, and doing we had two of our firefighters get hit by a car on a off ramp, and they were talking about pursuing legal action. And I did give them your information.
Oh, okay.
So that was awesome. That was like a year and a half ago.
It's not too late. You still have time.
Hey, it's good. It's good to know it's in the window of possibility.
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea is, and it was kind of a shift in business, because when I first started making content, it was just kind of general. Like we would go to the Beltline and ask, random legal questions to people. And it just so happened, like one of the videos went, I would consider it viral. I think it's up to it started gaining traction, especially recently. It's got like 300,000 views.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And like my average stuff is maybe 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was, me doing my regular questions to the group. And then I would always ask, like, where are you from? And they were like, oh, we from the South Side. I'm like, oh, okay, where? They're like, Clayco. I'm like, yeah, you guys are not from Clayco. And they're like, no, you're not from Clayco. And I'm like, you're not from Clayco. And then just so happens, like that raw interaction and that back and forth just kind of exploded. And I guess people just, I don't know, maybe it's surprising to them that a 6'2" white guy is from Clayton County and still lives there. Like, I don't know what's so hard to believe about that, but people just started sharing it all over the place. And it was, to me, it was kind of crazy. I'm like, that wasn't even like that small 8-second interaction wasn't even the point of the video, but that's what people honed in on. So I don't know if you've had experiences like that with some of your content where you're making it like, hey, I'm making it for this, but then another part of it is the reason why people are viewing it.
Yeah, a lot of the times the way my stuff will go viral or people view it is because they're telling me what I did wrong. And sometimes people will troll people and do something wrong on accident.
Yeah.
But I had this viral clip of a fire truck spinning out of control on ice, and it barely dodges the house.
Yeah.
And it was on everything, so I decided to give it my hot take. But I was like, the driver did an amazing job of staying in control, and he saved the crew and the home. And everyone was like, he had nothing to do with it. It was luck. And times like that, the videos do well. And I had named an appliance on a video I did this week of like how to shut off a sprinkler system.
Yeah.
I had named the wrong appliance, and everyone got on there to tell me what I had said wrong. And so usually that's my MO of how things do well. So that is really funny. One thing I thought was super funny in the Atlanta area, and also I saw it a lot in Clayton County, was during the COVID era, people were coming to Atlanta and Clayton County for party tourism because a lot of other clubs and bars out of state were shut down. Yeah. And it was so funny. Some of them were going wide open still. And I remember going to a 911 call at the Ice Bar over, I think it's on close to Riverdale Road. It's right there, that Quick Trip and stuff. Yeah. And there was hundreds of people coming out right when they had closed. It was like an after hours thing, and everyone done up cute at the club. Yeah. And I was like, this is hilarious. People want to have fun. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's only so much you can do in your house. Like, people want to get out and get active. Yeah, they want to. Yeah. Do you have any funny nightlife or fun nightlife spots that, you know, when you think of music and dancing in Clayton County that you enjoy or you've heard some fun things about? You know, for me, like growing up, it was always a skating rink. Yeah. Yeah. So you had Old Dixie Skating Rink, which I think exists anymore, is obviously right off of Old Dixie. And then you had, Sparkles Skating Rink on Highway 85 in Riverdale. And they had like this big, huge, giant skate outside. Like, that was their sign. It was just a big ass roller skate. And so that was like the places to go, is like, that's where you have, like, you know, you have your party, you go to Old Dixie or you go to Sparkles or whatever. But I can't dance. Like, I fit the typical, like, white guy can't dance. Yeah, way to stay in your lane. Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to venture out. I do like this right here, like do the back and forth, maybe a little side to side type action. Yeah. Now my wife, she's Mexican. She can dance. She gets down. Yeah. My girlfriend's Latina also. Oh, yes. We're doing it. We're doing it. Right. We're diluting the gene pool. We are, but you know, that's just it's our lot in life. What is some good, like, firefighters love to divorce. Yeah. And it's tough. It's always like, wow, you've been married 15 years. Same for lawyers. Same for lawyers. Yeah. Could you give us like a marriage secret that might be some way that's giving you a little bit of a leg ahead to stay married still here in 2025? Yeah, I would say, like, really truly appreciate what you have, because I mean, marriage is hard. Mm-hmm. Like, it is hard. It is work constantly. And I think that at least for lawyers, and maybe the same for firefighters, like, lawyers have the highest rates of suicide, alcoholism, drug abuse, like all of these vices, because when people think lawyers, they think money. That's not true for all areas of law, but in certain categories of law, like you have access to a lot of money very quickly. And if you didn't grow up with a lot of money, that can get to you. And then you start thinking more of yourself. And then you're like, well, ooh, I have access. You know, it's why celebrities, you know, get addicted to drugs. Like, when you have money, you have more access to things. And when you're a firefighter, you have access to people. Like, you're going to come across all types of people in life. The ladies love firefighters. Exactly. The point is that
like, I guess these professions kind of open doors that a lot of other professions don't. And it's really taking a look at like, okay, if I go down this path, I can do these things, but there are consequences behind those things.
Yeah.
And that's what people really don't think about. They're very much in the moment. That instant gratification, that instant satisfaction, without really thinking about how does this affect everyone else that I am an integral part of their lives.
Right.
And that's very, very hard because again, if you didn't date a lot when you were younger, or if you didn't go out when you were a lot younger, but now you have the means to do it, it kind of pulls at you to like, hey, I'm going to live my teenage and early 20s life in my 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah.
And for some people, that's fine. But, for me, especially what I went through last year with the surgery and stuff, I really like took a step back from the networking events and the going out and all these other things that weren't very healthy for me. And now I feel so much better. Like I get way less phone calls about people's drama. Like people don't bother me. Like, people don't ask me to come out and stuff. It's like, nah, dude, like I love hanging out with my family. Like it's fun.
That's great.
Yeah. And so I really think it's just a perspective thing. And that lure of what we as a society put out there, like having the most women is like encouraged, having the most money and being flaunty with it and things of that nature. Like that's the image that society says, this is what you should be doing. We're just like, no, dude, there ain't shit wrong with chilling at home, playing Fortnite with your kids.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really agree. I was talking with a firefighter at shift change this morning, and he's been married a long time. And he was just talking about, just choosing to have solidarity with your family. And you're not going to put yourself in those positions, like you said, to make mistakes. And divorce is not even an option. Mm-hmm. You're both going to be loyal to each other, and you're going to work out whatever and stay married. I think that is cool because a lot of times divorce is on the table. It might get threatened during an argument for no reason. Mm-hmm. And that is awesome to stick it out and not put yourself in bad situations to where, you might be tempted and stuff like that. And I like when people might make fun of the gamer boys. I know you got a really cool arcade cabinet and you love fighting games and stuff. And there is nothing wrong with staying home Friday and Saturday with the fam and gaming with your boys or your kids and whatever. That's nothing bad has ever happened to it.
Exactly. My dad told me growing up, he's like, son, ain't nothing for you after midnight out there.
Yeah.
Like, and every time I got in trouble, because Fast and Furious came out when I was in high school. And so everybody was souping up their cars and putting the mufflers and the rims and the sound systems and the neon lights and all that stuff. Like a Toyota Camry would be decked out like a GT3 or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Every time I got in trouble, I was out after midnight. Like I got a loitering ticket in DeKalb County off of Moreland Avenue. I got a speeding ticket. Like everything I got,
you're absolutely right,
was after midnight.
I have one of those progressive insurance like plugins for your car to see how safe a driver you are. And I go to the club sometime. Going to Invasion ATL this Saturday. But
catch him there, ladies.
Catch me outside. And it gives you a negative response when you are leaving back to go to your house at 2:30, 3 a.m. And like you said, it gives you a lot of margin for error and not it's a lot of risk. And especially being in public safety, you don't want to get a DUI. You don't want to get in a fight.
Yeah.
And when you put yourself out there with crazy folks that are walking the street after hours and are drunk a lot. Even if you're sober, you could get in trouble. And a lot of times there are temptations to drink after hours and you didn't Uber and stuff. So those are more risk than reward afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. My best friend, he's like, bro, he's an electrician. And, again, like firefighters, like you guys are going into people's homes or wherever they are at their most vulnerable, helping them, saving them. And then they feel, that brings a lot of emotions, especially in women and stuff like that. And if they don't have anybody there and you guys are the saviors, like that can spark some things. But he's like, bro, I don't even put myself in those types of situations. He's like, the moment I feel if he's doing, electrical job for someone and it's a female and they're by themselves, it's like the moment I feel like it's where I'm like, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, that's a great policy for sure.
And it definitely works. And just cutting out, going back to the marriage question, is cutting out everyone else's problems. It's nice to be there as a counselor for people, but like we all have our own issues.
Yeah.
Make sure you can manage those and really just kind of set expectations and talk about things as they really are versus what you think the other person wants to hear or stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think the smaller your circle is, the less drama.
Man.
And the less organizations you run. It's always nice to go to things. It's not fun to be in charge of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's always the people factor.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, I know a few cool businesses that are unique in Clayton County that we don't have a ton of. Like, there's not a ton of breweries here, and there's a really cool cidery. They make beer also on Forest Parkway, about in the middle of Forest Parkway from end to end.
Okay.
And it's by that like. It's a funny giant sign place on 54. Forest Parkway. It has a giant Waffle House sign. It's close to railroad tracks and like the trap house, the Crab Trap House food place. But it's cool that they have a cidery. There's not even a ton of cideries, period. But it's cool they're doing they're doing something that there's not a ton of in Clayco. And I know I saw somewhere they opened an axe throwing place the other day, which might be the only one we have in the county.
Yeah.
And what are some other fun spots of that maybe not get a ton of recognition, or maybe some businesses you think that would be that have good opportunity here that we don't have a ton of?
Yeah. I would say down in the Lovejoy area, I think they're still there. There was a potato bar place. Like, I had never heard of a potato bar before. And I used to live over there where Lotto used to live. She was my neighbor. She was 4 houses down.
Dope.
Yeah. And so in that shopping center at the Kroger on Terra Boulevard and Terra Road, there's a potato bar place. That was pretty dope.
And what is a potato bar?
It's like all these different, like you can get a potato. It's kind of like a bowl, but your bowl is a potato.
Oh, like a Moe's for potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And that was really good. That was really good.
That's awesome.
And then we have a lot of not dive bars, but like kind of hole in the wall type restaurants, right? So, again, my wife is from Mexico. So when we go and eat Mexican food, it's not Taco Bell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although we enjoy the occasional stomach ache from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But like little places that you would never think of. So kind of the rule that I tell people who are unfamiliar with Mexican food in Clayton County is if it has a grocery store in it, like that's where you want to go.
Yeah, that's
where you want to go. Yeah. If it doesn't have a grocery, like if it's not a grocery store and a restaurant, don't go there.
Yeah, I think that's a great rule of thumb. I had my first cactus over there at the little cantina on the north side of Clayton County at Old Dixie. So that's a great rule. Yeah. The only stand-in alone restaurant I know that is like really, really good, I can't remember the name. It starts with a Q.
Oh, are you talking about Oaxaqueña?
Yes. And it's got the green roof, and that place is awesome.
Yes.
I like all their little awards they have for their some of their unique dishes there.
Yeah, dude. So that was my exception, is La Oaxaqueña.
Okay, I'm glad we agree on that. That's awesome.
Dude, so when my wife and I were getting married, we actually had our rehearsal dinner there.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, like the church that we were getting married at, it was up the street off of Old Dixie and Morrow Road. And everybody was hungry. Like we had gone through the practice and stuff like that. And we're like, everybody would just want to go get tacos and stuff at Oaxaqueña. They're like, yeah. So it was like 35 people. We just basically took over the entire restaurant on the inside.
I know it's got seating for 25. Yeah. So y'all did it out.
Oh yeah. And they were like, what in the world is going on here? But yeah, my wife loves the salsa bar there. And there's another spot further north. We call it the Mexican Waffle House. So it's in a gas station, but it's a taco place. It's called Tortas Ahorgadas, and it's right there.
The Chevron?
Yes. It's open 24 hours.
Yeah, that place is good. And you know what's funny? The address is 210 Forest Parkway. Yeah, that is one of our most frequent 911 places where somebody will call because they are either they stop there off the interstate and they need help. So that is really funny.
And there's like there's the Chevron, then the taco place, and then like the Home Lodge or something like that.
That
it's like
farmer's market across the street is awesome too.
Yeah.
It's got like it's like a Costco style food depot. And that's cool. And then I like, of course, all the long awnings they have and loading docks of fruit and vegetable. And then they have a fun restaurant in there where you can get horchata and stuff. Is pretty neat. That's a unique spot.
Yeah. And that's really most of we just love to eat.
Yeah, eating is a great pastime. When I was thinking of other fun spots, just to name a few really unique ones, I like the turkey leg spot on Highway 85.
Yeah.
That place is awesome. You can grab the bone and shake it. One, it'll melt your hand. It's always so hot. That comes off. And then I love in the H Mart, they have the K-Dog.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest breakfast sandwiches I've ever had in my life. The Korean corn dogs are good too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they make the eggs so whippy. But, as food lovers, we got to get down here.
Yeah. Spill your secrets, Kmart. H Mart.
That's right. That's
Kmart
right.
is H Mart.
That's right. So this morning, I was telling the other fire crew on B shift. They were like, "Why are you lingering?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it." But I was like, "I'm hanging out with my buddy Danny, and we're gonna chat." And I was showing them your Instagram, and they're like, "Is that the guy with the Clayco till I die signs?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I was driving on 285, and I was right there at Highway 54, and I saw it, and I was like, that's him. It's so funny." And he's like, "I called and everything to see what it was."
Oh, really?
And so it was really funny that it all came together right there. So those signs are hilarious. It's such a funny idea.
Yeah, the idea behind it is to be unlike all the other lawyers, and especially the personal injury lawyers, because if you travel on the interstate, if you I'm looking for them, right? Because that's my field. But every single one is like big ass number, or I'm going to fight for you with boxing gloves, or, we're the biggest and we're the best. And I'm like, okay, I worked at one of the biggest law firms in Atlanta for 3 years. We didn't get any clients from billboards, like none. And they had billboards all over the place. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to test to see if billboards work. And when I called the first person that I got 2 billboards from, I was like, listen, I'm taking a shot in the dark. I don't really believe in this, but I'm going to do something different. And so my first billboard just said, "Yeah." And it's in deep blue and background with white letters. And then it has 833 Clayco 1. Like, that's it. Because I'm like, okay, people are smart enough to know if they see a phone number, they know what to do with it. Call it.
Yeah.
And then I put the pink and green Clayco till I die on the corner of 285 and 75. And initially we were getting 15, 20 phone calls a day. Like, what is this? But I learned, because when they would call, a lot of people would hang up. And I'm like, why the hell are they hanging up? Like, what are we doing wrong? Because either I or Courtney, our receptionist, would say, this is the Nagel Law Firm. And so it wasn't until the Clayton County Moms and Dad group on Facebook, somebody had posted like, "What's up with all these Clayton County signs?" And again, at that point, I only had 2. Now I have 12. And my friends, they started tagging me in it. And so then I got on there and was like, "Hey guys, it's me. Those are my signs." Explained why I was putting them up. And then I saw that one of the commenters said, "Yeah, I had called the number, realized it was a law firm, and so I hung up." And so I immediately called Courtney. I'm like, "Hey, do not answer the phone, Nagel Law Firm. Just answer it with your name and say, are you calling about the billboards?" Because my firm has 2 different numbers. I have 844 GA Rec and 833 Clayco 1. But when someone calls, we don't know who it is, right? So now, once we switched, only about 3 or 4 times in a day will someone hang up on us. They'll let us talk and tell them what it is that we are, what do we do, why we're doing it like that. And most people have been really, really receptive, and they laugh and they're like, "Dude, this is so genius." And I had one lady, my wife and I, this Wednesday, we went around like taking pictures of all the signs. And so if it was in like a strip mall, I just went to the business owners and I talked to them and gave them my card. And one lady said like she saw it and she felt like happy, like it uplifted her. And I was like, wow, like that's dope as hell. Like that's cool.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's just something different. And really, it's me just trolling.
Yeah.
It's me just trolling. Like, I don't need to put my picture up there. I'm not that vain. I don't need to put law. I don't need to promise people $1 bazillion. I don't need to tell them that I'm going to go fight for them. I just put a message to let them know who I see you guys. I'm with you guys. I want to be for you guys. And then the phone number. And now we're up to like 60 phone calls a day.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I like that you had tried a few different things, and that is so funny what took off with that.
Yeah.
And you made a lot of people laugh, and that is really cool.
Yeah, I know people on Facebook, like one guy, he changed his background photo up to my billboard.
You've made it.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And God knows how many other people have seen it and commented on it, and I just don't know because they're not in my sphere of social media.
Yeah, I like that no matter what, who takes it or repurposes it, it's always your brand that grows because you've done a funny, cool thing, and it's awesome.
Exactly, and so my plan is to leave the current billboards up for about 6 months and then change them in 6 months and do a whole new campaign. Whether it's the color scheme, because the colors that I'm using, they're not like your regular colors. Like everything, like there's a lot of psychology and research that I did going into these colors and just the messaging around Clayton County.
Yeah, I think that's super fun. So I think one funny pastime I like to do, especially when I'm hanging out with other firefighters off duty, we love to read some of the places that people are very passionately negative about the reviews. So like Southern Regional does a lot of good work, but when people are mad from whatever experience they had, they're the ones that are going to leave the review.
Yep.
So it is so funny reading about their experience on Google and seeing it. Imagine. And or some of the apartment complexes or extended stays that have an easier entryway for like $1,000 a month and stuff like that. And hearing people's experiences, and that is, if you've never done that, it's a good laugh. Do it with your spouse or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the Clayton County Jail has some good ones.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
You gotta check the jail. The jail has like 1 star. It's like, do not recommend the jail.
That is so funny. I had made a shirt and to put on my Etsy, and I had heard from I've made a few Grady videos that went viral. Yeah. Just filming some of their ambulance ramps outside and stuff when I go to drop people off. And someone said, I've heard someone chant to someone, and when they were getting loaded up in Atlanta, "Don't let him take you to Grady." So I just thought that was so funny because I love Grady. They do a lot with their burn unit, and especially with Atlanta Medical Center not being here anymore. Yeah. They are the trauma center, and Atlanta can't survive without Grady. It really is great. But I made a funny shirt that has the Grady logo and font, and it says, "Don't let him take you to Grady." And I'll just be casually talking about whatever funny 911 story, and I'll wear it, and I won't even mention it. It won't be a link to it, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, your shirt!" Yeah, it's so funny to do a little trolling thing like that.
That's funny. I need to put the billboards on a shirt.
Yeah, we need to get the jail and put a 1-star Google on there. Make that a billboard or a shirt.
9151 Terra Boulevard.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to be there. You want to act right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that's not too hard to do.
Yeah.
For most people.
Right.
Do you have any sports teams? I know you love sports. So within Clayco, do you have any local favorites?
Yeah. I think I'm partial to Forest Park High School. That's where I grew up. That's
Your
where
alma mater.
My alma mater. That's right. Yeah. So I've sponsored their track team before, actively looking for someone who coaches there, because I'm down to sponsor, whatever it is that they need, because one of my goals is to have a library named after me. But if I get like a football field or a baseball field or something like that, or
you wouldn't be upset.
I wouldn't be upset. It'd be like, hey, we could drive by, like that's the Daniel Nagel baseball field or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So definitely Forest Park. Did a couple years at Clayton State before I transferred and ended up at Georgia State. So definitely Clayton State. They've had a very solid soccer program for many, many, many years. And their basketball team has done some well on certain years and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, anything on the south side. So, I mean, obviously my top target is Clayton County, but also sponsor things in Fayette County and Henry County and Coweta and things like that
help
as
the
well.
Southeast out in general.
Yeah,
That's good.
exactly.
Yeah,
because people are always shitting on people OTP. They're like, "Oh, you're OTP."
Oh yeah, I remember
like,
when I was single and dating, a lot of people would be like, "Don't swipe on me if you're OTP," and I'm like, "Okay, elitist, I don't want to go. I don't want to go anyway." So we're gonna go to Applebee's out in the suburbs and have a great time.
Right. Exactly.
With the dollar margaritas. Okay. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. And I think another benefit of living, I've heard one of my firefighter sergeants, Griffin, she's buying her first home and she's looking in Rex and Lovejoy and some other spots this week. And she said, I don't want to live anywhere north of the airport.
Right.
I love the benefits of living on the south side so much more because you're not just stuck in traffic all the time.
Yeah.
And even if like 75 is during rush hour that comes through Clayton County, there's so many side roads like frontage road, you can just completely dodge it and get to the very bottom of it.
Yep,
So
exactly.
it's like an awesome little hack for the locals.
Yeah, or 675 or 1941 or Highway 54.
Yeah,
like
you never see 675 just backed up hardly ever. It is the road less traveled and a great way to go.
Yeah, and you can go as fast. It's like the Autobahn.
It really is. You can get unregulated.
You can go as fast as you want on 675 and no one is ever going to be there.
That is very true. The outskirts.
Yeah.
We had a funny thing over there. One time I ran a call where there was like a fire. So we came out to investigate it. And it was one of the last like farm properties in Clayton County. Some of the original people that had been there. Mm-hmm. And they had this massive labyrinth of like handmade, like I could not imagine the overhead view from Google satellite of like the little chicken pens and the connectivity. It was a massive labyrinth of like barn gates and everything. And, we uncovered like this big chicken fighting arena scene over there, and but it was so funny just to stumble upon organically like that. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the cowboys of Clayton County that ride the horses over in like Ellenwood and stuff?
So when I lived in Lovejoy, every now and again we would see the guy, and I don't know if he was it was part of that, but we would see a guy, it was an African-American guy on a horse just going up and down Tara Road or Folsom Road. And then I think on wasn't Noah's Ark that they had the horse farm there that burned down? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they were somewhere over in Noah's Ark.
There are a few. And any of the viral videos you ever see on ATL Scuba or anything of the people riding horses in downtown Atlanta, they're usually the Clayco cowboys that come up. And one time in Riverdale, we ran we were just driving and saw two like emaciated horses that had gotten loose from another farm.
Yeah.
And they were just in someone's backyard. So it ended up like 5 hours later, we were, taking care of the horses and walking around in the front toward the street. And some random Clayco cowboy stopped by and he knew all about them and like knew someone that they weren't his horses, but that we could take them. Uh-huh. And they came by with a horse trailer and helped out the community for free for hours. So
where's their base?
I know some of them live, and this is really funny because it's like a modern suburb neighborhood. Uh-huh. And but they're at the very end of the neighborhood at the cul-de-sac, and they've got property back there, and they ride their horses just in the neighborhood there. And I know there are some further on the south side back, where you on the Lovejoy area and stuff like that. Huh. And I remember working private EMS at a rodeo over at Jim R. Miller Park in Cobb County, and they were there, and it was so cool seeing my local fire department area cowboys up there. Yeah. And what's really neat about the cowboys, they are literally some of the toughest guys and girls in the world. None of them ever want to be evaluated when they fall off the horse. Huh. They wear their protective vest and their protective cowboy hat. Yeah. And when they fall off, it's just in their culture, it's seen as weak if you get evaluated. So, hats off to them. As a fellow tough profession, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like, I just got a couple of broken ribs. I'll walk it off. Yeah. No, don't worry. No worries.
Deal.
No big deal.
It'll attach again later. I'll just drink more milk.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah. Related, but unrelated about when you said drink more milk. So my wife has got me hooked. I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok. There's this cow. It's called Big B.
I'm not familiar with Big B.
So Big B is this pregnant cow. I think they're in Missouri. And like this cow is like, when I say enormous, I mean really, really enormous. It looked like she's carrying 3 grown cows inside of her. Wow. And so it's like every night when we get in bed, it's like, all right, check TikTok to see if Big B has given birth yet.
Yeah, we need to know.
We need to know.
Inquiring minds.
Yeah. Like, dude, when I say like this cow is huge, like it's bigger, it's wider than this table. You should check it out.
I'm excited to check it out.
When we edit this video, add a picture of Big B to it. Big B pregnant.
We got to.
Got to.
So when I was coming up in Clayton County, and a lot of the guys that were firefighters that retired here grew up in Clayton County and moved to Pike County and stuff because it was getting a little bit too populated. Yeah, which we are. I think we're the 3rd smallest county in the state, and we're also the 3rd most densely populated. Yeah. So we are growing.
Yeah. I think it's like, according to the last census, like almost 300,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
It is neat to see the growth.
Yeah.
And that's why it's cool, because it is, I know we're on a good Sunday, we can be in downtown Atlanta in like 10 minutes. Yeah. So it is awesome location.
Yeah, dude. When I was going to school at Georgia State, I was staying in Forest Park, which is, I was a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Atlanta city limits. Like I could get to Georgia State, park at Turner Field in less than 15 minutes.
That is great.
And so like you saying like their colleague that's wanting to buy a house down here, like you can get so much more for your dollar down here. And it's not hard to get into the city. It's not that hard.
Right.
Even down, if you're in Lovejoy, you just take Terra Boulevard up and then boom, once you hit 75, you're in there.
Yeah, for sure. When I lived in Cobb County on the west side, I know when I would meet up with my east side buddies, it was literally over an hour to go. And I know in Clayco, you're not doing 30 minutes, more so to the top to the bottom. So it is nice to have everything centrally located here. Mm-hmm. That is cool. So let me tell you a few war stories. Speaking of Forest Park.
Yes.
So this summer, we had a mutual aid call where they wanted one fire engine to come and help them on a fire.
Okay.
So I went over there, and when Forest Park gets a fire, the entire fire department goes. Okay. And they'll usually have more people than we will have at our house fire if everyone's not on a call already. Mm-hmm. So they have a good response, almost 30 people, which is above and beyond for a fire call. And as more 911 calls come out, they will leave and go, do the house calls for medical stuff. Mm-hmm. So they're overly prepared to whoop a house fire, a commercial fire. But it was during the summer, and they had a lot of people's already on 911 calls, so they didn't get the big response they needed. So they had the minimum of what they wanted to be on a house fire, like 3 fire trucks, an ambulance, a supervisor, a ladder, and stuff like that. So they had been fighting this really difficult fire for a long time, and they were all gassed, and they just needed it mopped up at the very end. So they called us there to go help. So like me and my 2 guys, we masked up. They gave us the rundown, and we went in there and we pulled every bit of sheetrock, from the ceiling to the wall because the whole thing was a total loss. Right. And so we pulled every bit of it out, went in there, kicked butt, hit all the hot spots, had it not smoking when we left. And we high-fived them all when we left. And I got to meet a few of my TikTok fans and show them I'm not just a pretty face on there. So, but that was cool getting to hang out with them some and give them a hand. And they are always there for us if we have a big incident. So it's a nice, good working relationship between the 2 fire departments. Yeah,
and they have I don't know how many different locations that they have, but they have a few. Yeah. Because I remember when I don't know if you know College Street. Over there in Forest Park, right off of Jonesboro Road, kind of by the Piggly Wiggly on Highway 54.
Okay, I'm familiar. Yeah, the water tower and the Chick-fil-A. And all that.
Exactly. And the middle school, that's where I grew up, right there. And then the fire department was like almost like next door. It was very, very close. We never had anything crazy go on in our neighborhood.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
One time I was at that Kroger just south of there.
Okay, in Lake City?
In Lake City by the college.
Yep.
And we were leaving, and we saw a giant smoke header north of Kroger. Okay. So we went and got in our fire truck, and we were just going to go check it out. And on the way, they dispatched us to the same location. It was like the old Harley Davidson building that's like it's some kind of battery. It's like new battery. Anyway, so we drove over there. it was on like a day where they weren't in business, like a Sunday or something. So like they had heavy black smoke pouring out, and so the garage doors were all open, and it was so we pulled up, and none of us are like completely dressed because we got dressed on the way, and it was only like 3/4 of a mile up the road. So our driver, Lieutenant Wombles, he pulled out the circular saw, cut the gate lock off, ran the gate back, and like I had some of my gear on, and I'm holding the rest of it, and then we pull the attack line off, and we run to the back. And the important part of fire is you put water on it as soon as possible. It'll start going out. It makes a big difference, some water versus none.
Right.
So it's got all these buildings connected to it through awnings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not a total loss yet. So we take turns getting dressed, but the fire hose is on the fire the entire time. And it was like 3 pallets full of recycled batteries that were all on fire. And so we were standing outside of the loading dock on the ground level, spraying in. We take turns getting dressed. Sergeant Etheridge gets fully dressed, gets on air. And then after she gets dressed, I give her the hose. Then I get fully dressed. And it had burnt a hole through the ceiling, the metal roof. And we ended up saving like that whole building. The only damage was the smoke and then that initial pile. And it didn't go through to the office, and it didn't, melt the whole place down. And they were able to renovate and reopen, and it still has those nice smoke marks outside to show our glorious quick action. And it is nice when people either report it on the road or call how quick we can make a difference. It's really sad when we get there and it's been at 3 a.m. It started and someone calls at 3:30 or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And, everyone's life's ruined from having a total loss like that. But it is cool. We can get in. We can put the kitchen out. One thing I have noticed in a lot of the nice Hispanic moms, they have done a lot to establish, their home. And they might have a kitchen fire from cooking or whatever. They will fight that fire so hard.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get there, and they have used extinguishers and bowls of water, and it's nearly out by the time we get there. And I just, that's not always recommended. If you ask 911, should I stay and fight? They'll be like, no, get out. But it is cool just to see people fight for their family and what they have. And they don't have much a lot of times. And it is neat to see them to fight to preserve their family home.
Have you noticed, that's an interesting perspective, because Forest Park does have a lot of Hispanic families. Morrow has a lot of Vietnamese families. Yeah. You get a nice eclectic mix of everything in Clayton County. But have you noticed any little things like that as it relates to cross cultures and how people handle emergency situations or fires or anything like that?
Yeah, I always feel like a lot of the neighborhoods we go on, you might see an amazing bonsai garden in the backyard, or you might see other stuff, but the communities intermingle really well, and they do help each other in different ways. Like I remember during the ice storm we had years ago, where 285, the entire thing was locked down on one side, and there was no way to go. They were there for over 24 hours, and we would take the fire truck and drive on the open side, east and west. And we made peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and just all the little 911 calls and the house calls we made at the cars. Everybody was helping each other, and people were going on that old Dixie Road at 285 in Forest Park. They were going to that subway that was 24 hours and getting big group orders for everybody and going down and, taking care of people. And it was neat. Or someone's car is out of gas. They let other people sit in their car that was warm. And I had so many 911 calls at Quick Trips, to where people were letting people that got hit by their car sit in their car, or they see someone have a seizure, they stay by and they don't know them. And it is nice, no matter your nationality here, it is very diverse, but everyone really does generally concern for each other and takes care of each other. And if someone knocks on your door at 1 a.m. for help, they're not more skeptical of I don't want to be hurt. It's more, how can I help you? And let me call 911 and come inside. And you don't get that sense of community everywhere. Right. And it is cool. You really do have it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times when I have a good opportunity to help anybody, it is fun to see, because having a big platform, you get more people reach out and want to help. Yeah. And a lot of times I'll post, hey, I got 100 million view reach for stuff I post this month. If you want me to post your thing, I'll post it.
Yeah.
And I will collaborate on a lot of posts for other firefighters, and it helps them get their reach further out. Like I work with some recruitment pages, and I just got, I'm working on some stuff with another firefighter page in Georgia called the Metro Atlanta Fools, and they're doing like Brothers Supporting Brothers Foundation. And so it's nice to use the platform to do that and help people. And then I'm working also with like the medical alert bracelet folks, and I'm going to make some funny, helpful content with them to try to like help get their message out, because a lot of people don't know the technology you have now. It's not just a metal piece of jewelry that says seizures on it.
Right.
You can scan it and you'll give them their loved one's number and all their stuff. And so a lot of people don't know they have those resources for people. And it is cool to check that out. So, but anything I can usually get involved with, I will try to help out. I do like just a lot of events. I'll usually try to help out any way I can. Just again with the reach and platform. Like I go to comic conventions, or I'll go to like we have it's an Asian event company called Invasion ATL, and they host like different cultural Asian raves and parties where they will. They'll do like a Vietnamese night. They did like a Lunar New Year, Chinese night, and they did like an Indian night, and they bring dancers out, and they'll basically reach out and see what are you doing in your community and what would you like to showcase here. And it's mega fun and like really cool. And the guy that owns it, Brian's really neat. And so it is fun to just be like, that's a cool cause or a cool event. Like, let me help promote it. And just go and attend it and give it like my little video review, so more people can say, hey, that's cool, I want to check that out,
bringing more awareness to it.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, like, when you started doing the social media stuff, was it your goal to kind of get it to where it is now and continue on that path, or did it just kind of happen naturally? Like, oh crap, like this is kind of interesting, let me continue with it?
Yeah, I never knew it would be like it is at all. And I just have always done what made me happy. Like when I did LARPing, it made me very happy. I lived a very full life. I became a really good craftsman because of all the things I'd make. And that translated into fix your washer dryer, renovate your basement, solve problems. And so I never knew where it would take me. I didn't have any goals other than just be happy, make my children happy, and have a good time. And the fire department's always been a cool thing for me. So it was always nice to just get more invested and professional in it, learning more and giving back. And so it is neat to see where it comes. But at this point, like whether I was wanting to or not, I'm a big leader in the national firefighter community. Yeah. So my words hold a lot of gravity for the young folks. Yeah. And so like Spider-Man says, with great power comes responsibility, great responsibility. Right. So it is, in your area too, it's important for us to try to help, whether it's young lawyers or people want to get into it, or just change the profession's image overall to help show the positive parts. Yeah. And so it's cool to see where I'm at. And it's not all just like I'm giving back and it's helpful. Like being popular online is cool. It's nice when people want to meet you because, you're online famous, or, if you're dating, they'll be like, wow, I saw you on TikTok. And you're like, no big deal, know? So they're all helps. And it's helped me a ton professionally, more than like my main things before I got popular online was I was a forcible entry expert and I was a hazmat expert. Okay. And that only goes so far. And so the impact I have now is not just in Clayton County, it's nationally. So it's nice to be able to give back and help people. Like yesterday, I had a phone call with somebody. He's 18. He was doing his like EMT third rides to get his hours of training in at another fire department before he can be an EMT. And they were so mean to him. And he was like, is this what the fire service is like? And I was like, it's not like that everywhere, but it is like that at some spots. And I was like, the younger the people, the more helpful they're going to be because they knew they were treated badly and they're going to be more inquired to train you. And I gave him like a very uplifting, positive phone call. And I gave him like 15 minutes of my time. And that means so much to him. I don't get paid for that. I don't get anything, but like it's really nice to help people. And to them, a lot of times it's exciting to meet someone they've heard online or they look up to, period, whether I give them value or not.
Yeah.
And I think that, that's cool to do.
Did he reach out to you via social media? Is that how you connected with him?
Yeah. So what I do is I will make a video for recruitment, and then I will say in the video, email me, comment, and whatever, and I'll give you my number and we'll have a chat. And I can just knock all your questions out instead of the text back and forth.
Yeah. That's dope, because it seems like, before the social media stuff, like, everybody, they have their own sphere of influence. But once you reach a certain, and now it just is online. It's Instagram, TikTok, Meta, but now like your sphere of influence probably reaches people that you don't even know. Like it reaches beyond what, again, like the billboard stuff. Like I don't even know how many people are taking pictures or thinking like that's cool, or somebody sees them like, hell yeah, I represent Clayco. Like that's me. Before they were feeling down, but they see something like that. And so it seems like to me, like you're getting good engagement, and your sphere of influence not only is widening, but like you're kind of that authoritative figure that people can look to.
Yeah, it is nice. And what's so nice is like my fire chief Sweat, he's given me so much freedom because he trusts me to do a good job. And I have a good track record. And not every fire department treats their firefighters like that, where they just let them post online. And, I'm very specific about what I will and won't talk about or say or post. And it is nice that he trusts me and he gives me the freedom to do that. And I've been able to do a lot of good. And for other people trying to make content for their department, you just have to be mindful of what they probably wouldn't like to see. Don't be risky. And then, prove yourself that you can do it for a while before you try to do anything more risky, like filming a house fire or something like that might make someone unhappy with their home being on fire online.
Right.
And focus on the good and the easy topics before you do those things. And recruitment's never bad. I've had a lot of agencies comment on my stuff like, I'm sending this to my fire chief to show him that we need a recruitment TikTok and stuff like that you're getting good. So, for one way or another, there's some groundbreaking stuff happening through the recruitment and other stuff. And I've also like me and my ex-wife, I've been divorced since like 2018. Me and her are mega good friends. And I've been able to show people. I get a lot of firefighters call me, or they want advice when they're divorcing. How do I transition into a happy life? You seem really happy. And I'm able to advise other guys that have had a tough go at marriage and stuff, and how to be in their children's lives, how to not have a really bad time with their co-parent, and how to like just rediscover life in a different way because you're not married anymore. And you can go to the club and stuff, and in a good way. So it's nice the different avenues I've been in to be able to do that. And I'm just very thankful for the opportunity, and I've been trying to do a good job with it all around.
Yeah, it seems like to me like a lot of people, when they're gaining that notoriety and the larger following, it's like a lot of people don't set out to do that. It's really just like you said, just having fun with it, and then. It's like, hey, when you do something that you enjoy, like the world picks up on that, and they can see like, all right, this person is genuine and sincere and not just trying to like get all these followers and then try to sell me something. That's been your experience as well?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hate selling stuff. I do a ton of merchandising stuff for TikTok, but they give you 5, if you have like a 10,000 follower count or more, they give you 5 free items. At any given time. You just review them and you get more. So I have so much silly things at the fire department. We have like foot massagers, knee massagers, neck massagers. I just got like a little golf set. So one of our golf guys can play golf indoors. And we had like some fan drama where someone was taking someone's fan. I was like, I'll just get one from TikTok. And like, I always make the crummiest, worst videos. But it's not because I'm trying to do sales. I just want more free stuff.
Yeah.
And so it is fun to just generally enjoy your message and put it out. And there's not like, let me sell you my online product.
Right.
Of like, here's my guide to be the best firefighter for $10.99.
Oh my
or
God.
Schedule a $29 an hour coaching session with me.
Yeah.
You know,
That is somehow in the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, that has permeated the legal field. You got all these lawyers like, take my coaching class and I'll make you rich, and take this and read this book. It's oh my God, dude, it is so frustrating. So frustrating because people are actually doing it. And it's like, bro, just get you some friends and you knuckleheads like collaborate together and figure it out. Like that's what I've done. I have a email chain of about, 8 or 9 other lawyers, and we're all like just a bunch of knuckleheads, but we bounce ideas off of each other and then we lead to success. It's like, boom, guys. Hey, great news. This worked. And now 9 other people know about it.
Yeah.
And so now we can just teach that to the coming up generation of lawyers and be like, don't make the same mistakes we made. Like, do this. And then it'll be on them to figure out, okay, what's the next step,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think having a great friend, a great friend circle is so important for, just being happy. Plus, networking is always nice.
Exactly.
I have like a monthly reoccurring hangout where I'll be like, okay, we're going to go to the church bar on Edgewood, or we're going to go to this.
Wait, is that the one that has like the sayings on the outside of it? And like, okay, that's interesting. So we got to take a side
spicy. It's very spicy. It is it's a church themed bar.
Right.
And it's not owned by church goers.
Sure.
So it's like a funny parody
right.
on church, but a ton of people will go there after church and stuff that go to church because it's funny. They've got like a lot of old felt like Jesus paintings that they get from the thrift store, and they write a fun message on it. And it's so popular, they bought the bar next door and, extended it. And it's mega cool. It's been there for a long time. And it's like one of the top dive bars in America. Really? And I think it won the top one in 2023. So it's mega fun. It's mega cool. And I host usually my birthday party there every year because you get like this giant venue for free.
Yeah.
You tell everyone to get there when it opens. You got the whole upstairs. You post up, and it's mega fun. So that place is cool. And just all of the funny like Jesus action figures or Jesus is beloved all over the world.
Right.
So you get a lot of merchandise with that. That's funny.
Sure.
And they have a church organ that they do. Everyone wears robes and they do church karaoke on the organ every like Thursday. And they have like comedy shows there. They do a ton of entertainment. So it's mega fun. I highly recommend it. And that whole Edgewood corridor, it's very close to Grady, but it's some of the most interesting bars. And what I like is it's got the wacky white-owned bars like Church and Joystick, which is like a retro arcade bar, D&D arcade stuff. And then you have all like the black-owned bars. And it is like so fun to just see everyone getting along and chilling over there and going in between. And then a lot of times during like spring break or when it's mega crowded, they'll shut the whole road down and it's only foot traffic.
Yes.
And then they get the street vendors that come out and they're plugged into like the awnings of the businesses and they're making like Bloody Marys and rosemary and margaritas for sale on the street. And they've got like the slow cooker making hot dogs.
Yep.
And just Atlanta's a fun place, man. It's cool the culture we have unique here in the Southeast.
Yeah, it turns into like DC and New York and stuff with the food trucks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
It
is cool for sure.
Yeah.
I have a few other fun war stories for you from the fire.
Let's go.
So one time we had this train fire. It's the only train fire I've ever fought in my life. And it was coming up parallel to Highway 42, Moreland Avenue. And it was going northbound. And it ended up traveling into DeKalb County. Okay. And it was on fire, rolled in there. That's where it stopped. So we pull up, and wherever it stopped was mega high elevation to where that little like railroad rock gravel was going up. So I pulled the attack line, and I was just wearing my normal uniform, and I put it on my shoulder and inched my way to the top. And I got to the top of the train and grabbed the rails, and I put the fire hose on it, and I tied it in a knot or whatever, held it. Then all the firefighters that were geared up wearing, 60 plus pounds of gear, they all used it like a rope and climbed the fire hose to the top. And then once it got to the top, they were able to untie it and flake it out. And then I went down there and charged it. And then they were able to put the the engine out. And then DeKalb County came in, the rest of our units came in, and it was very unique to come through there. And it was during the summer. And I remember right after it had happened, and I was about to throw up. I had did so much like hard work right there going up and down. And that's like one of those adrenaline things. I normally wouldn't have been able to get up there. And so one of the people came and opened my door of the engine. I was sitting in the air conditioner. They're like, "You just sitting in here while everyone's out here working?" And I was like, "This chief has no idea all the heroics I just
Right.
So that was pretty funny, but it was a nice little unique one. And I know over here, living by the lake, you see some fun boating stuff, whether people are trying to back their boat into their trailer and all kinds of hootenanny. One time I had this boat fire where it was like the garage had a boat inside of it.
Okay.
And it was on fire and it looked pretty heavy inside. And so I went in the front door. I was the first one on scene. I went in the front door and the whole kitchen and living room was clear. Like you could see inside of it. And so I went through there and I took a left and opened the door that led to the boat garage. And the entire thing was lit up orange. And I was just like, I could completely see everything in there. And so I'm like fighting. It was so much fire. It was all the fire I could want to like fight. So I'm in there fighting it. And then all of a sudden I can see like, I can't see anything because there's just smoke.
Yeah.
And it's enclosed space. Then all of a sudden I can see tons of daylight. And it was from where the fire had melted the roof and got out. And then people had came in and they were looking for victims upstairs and stuff like that. And then more people were destroying the ceiling tiles and sheetrock above me looking for fire extension. Well, there was tons of fire that had gotten into there and it was between the second floor and the first. So all that fire came down and then it was, we had like what we call a flow path from the front door being open. Now it wasn't just one entrance. Now there was a flow path to go out the garage roof. Well, anyway, all this fire connected to it. I'm standing in the doorway fighting the fire. All of a sudden, my entire body's on fire. Like I was standing in it and like if you've ever been in like a really hot fire like we do, it feels like I've
not been on fire before.
That's good. First is not too bad.
41 years plus going strong.
I'm so happy that you stayed out of hot danger. It feels like a ton of needles are all in your ears or the top of your head. So it felt like that all over. It just felt like I was being stabbed all over my body. And it was only for like a second. Yeah. And then I did a little back pivot. And then I did the wide fog and put it all out. And then we were able to like secure the flow path and put it out. And we ended up saving the living room and the upstairs and the kitchen.
How did the boat catch on fire?
Well, it had like a really cool hot paint job with flames and stuff. So it's too hot. It was just immolated there. No, I'm not sure the actual cause. Yeah. But a lot of times, it might be batteries or they might have it plugged in and something like that. So
yeah, my boat. It's not a fire story, but the first time. So we moved here right before COVID in October of 2019, and during COVID. We had saved up some money to kind of redo our wedding. Like it was going to be a 10-year anniversary. And so we were going to do vow renewal. COVID happened. So that shut down the venue and all this stuff. And my neighbor, he has a really, really nice boat. And he was like, "Hey, you guys want to come out on the lake with us?" And we were like, of course, my kids are like, absolutely. And so we went out and, it was amazing. And then my kids are like, "Dad, we need a boat. We need a boat." And I'm like, I asked Mom, we have this money saved up to do, vow renewal. What do you think about just buying a boat? And so we bought a boat, not a very fancy boat at all, like very, very, very not fancy.
Yeah, just a little seaworthy. That's all you needed.
Yeah. And so found a pretty good deal around here, somebody that lived off of Noah's Ark Road. And they came and they showed it and we're like, okay, cool. So I didn't know nothing about boats, like nothing about boats. And the first time we put it in the water, I had my best friend come over and he knew a little bit about boats. And so we drop it in the water and we get like 10 feet away from the dock and like the boat, there's just water coming in the boat. And we're like, what the heck is going on here? Like, what is happening? Well, I'm like, all right, go forward. So we get it back to the dock and then I'm hitting the bilge button to like kick the water out. And my wife goes, "Did you put the plug in?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? What plug? She's like, yeah, in the bottom of the boat, there is a plug. I saw them take the plug out. Did you put the plug back in? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So my friend runs and grabs my truck and backs it down, or grabs his truck, backs it down. We get it on the trailer, pull it up the hill. Sure enough, the plug is not in the bottom of the boat.
Oh my gosh.
And so we almost sank.
You almost sank your whole new boat.
Brand new, like to me boat.
Yeah.
Almost sinking in the lake.
That was a close one.
And so
That's
now
crazy.
we have a joke. It's like, before you put the boat in water, make sure the butt plug is in the boat.
Yeah, it has to have
the butt plug.
Have to.
Yeah. Otherwise you will sink.
You will sink.
So now we don't remove the butt plug.
Good. And it's nice if, anyone's using any kind of stuff like that, it has a flange on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't want it to go all the way in and out.
Not all the way.
Because then you might sink again.
Exactly.
Or end up at Southern Regional.
That's right.
So I know you used to live next to Lotto.
Yes.
And so Sergeant Griffin, she was doing the Lotto challenge. I think for her Brokey song, she was giving away like a vacation for somebody and picking whoever did her challenge.
Yeah.
And so she did like a whole firefighter Brokey music video. It's super cute.
I need to see this.
Yeah, I'll have to throw it your way.
Yeah.
But it's like Nika Griffin or something on TikTok, but I'll send it to you. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so when we lived in Lovejoy, we were right off of Terra Road, in between Terra Road and oh shit, why can I not think of it? Right there where the Lovejoy complex is. Terra Road and dude, I'm blanking. It's where Lovejoy High School is. Anyway, over there in that area, and it was before she got famous, because I'll never forget, we had a house at the bottom of the hill, and then her house was at the top of the hill, and they always had like 5 or 6 cars parked on the street. And so when we're going south, like all the cars are on the street, and it's on a big, like it's a steep hill, like we could never see over it. So anytime we needed to get to that side, we just circle the block and go all the way around and stuff like that. And I just remember my kids, my son was super young. My daughter was like 4 or 5 years old. They would ride our bikes or tricycles or whatever, and we go up to Lotto's house and come all the way down. And I would see, like, she had a big, like I think it was like a Chevy Tahoe or Cadillac Escalade or some SUV looking thing, and it had Miss Mulatto on it, and it would always be at the Kroger parking lot. We'd see it there. We saw it at her house. And then when she blew up, this was before she got famous, when she blew up, like, she made a song. It was like, yeah, we used to skip school, hang at Panhandle off of Panhandle Road. And I was like, yo, I know what she's talking about. So hopefully, maybe with these billboards, I can get her to reshare it. Like, that's my goal, is to get Lotto to share one of the billboards.
That would be good. We'll have to tag her up repeatedly.
So I'll have to ghost tag her on all of my stuff.
Yeah, we tried to get her up and to give a little share response on Griffin's video. But, she got a lot of notifications to get to.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's all right. So speaking of being a homeowner, you bought your house in 2019.
That's right.
I bought my house in 2019 also.
Yeah.
What a time for home prices.
Dude.
That was nice back then.
Dude. So my very, very first house that I bought as an adult was in 2009. So it seems like a 10-year span. Like, I worked for a law firm, not as a lawyer, just as a college graduate, doing HUD foreclosures. Okay. And so the market between 2007 and basically 2010 was like, it was a buyer's market.
It was.
Yeah. So I got my house, my first home, may have not been completely truthful with my income, because I was starting law school. So I wasn't going to have a job. Yeah, I was broke. Yeah. Like, I had no job. I was student loans to the max. But we got our first house, and that was a bigger house than I ever grew up in. And so I was like, winning.
I made it. Dad's proud.
Yeah. And so it was during the first time home buyer thing. So
I remember around 2009 or something, he had the Obama was giving $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. It was up awesome. To like 10 grand. So I'm like, I bought this house for like $70,000. Wow. It was like 2,100 square feet or something. Awesome. Right. And I was like, I am living right now. And then we stayed in that house for 10 years. And then we started looking, and I was like a month or two away from like just paying it off and being and having no mortgage payment. But we found this house, and I told my friend who was the real estate agent, I was like, I want this house. I don't care what you have to do. You know, we saw the house on Sunday, had a contract on Monday or Tuesday.
That's great. Yeah, you really liked it.
Yeah. And so I was like, don't negotiate with them, just pay them. And she was like, no, we have to negotiate. I was like,
I want it.
If you mess this up for me, I will badmouth you to all of our friends and mutual acquaintances.
And cry.
Right. Obviously, that didn't happen. And man. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, if I was at that other house, I would have gone insane.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have it wasn't a big yard.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of cool stuff to do.
Didn't have as many cool views.
Yeah, it didn't have cool views. And so like we were very, very, very fortunate.
See, that's really the secret to your marriage being together.
Yeah.
You got some good space.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. I have a similar story. I bought my first home in 2010.
Yeah.
What a time after 2008 crisis.
Yeah.
I was normally wanting to buy like a more crummy house, but they were so cheap. Mm-hmm. We ended up getting the fully renovated, nice, don't have to do anything house, and it was only $130,000.
Yeah,
and it was really great. And when I ended up divorcing in like 2018, we were able to sell it for so much more to basically where we're extra now.
Yeah,
and just getting those homes and selling them. And staying in the one I'm going to stay in for life, like at the right opportunity, has helped me be so happy in life because money fixes a lot. Financial freedom brings such peace. And like at the fire department, we are addicted to working overtime and part-time jobs because we get so much time off. And I haven't worked a part-time job in like 5 or 6 years. I just do my thing. It's like my only duties during my days off is like, I'm like, okay, I got to go to the gym and I'm going to go see my kids at like their mom's house. Usually during the week, I'll cook dinner or bring Chinese food for everybody. I just hang out with them for an hour and a half or something. Yeah. And that's all I got to do. There's like no dreadful dialysis transport I have to do or no overtime shift at the fire department where I'm like, I really just want to go home. Right. And it's such a peaceful existence. And I'm like, I guess I'll make some content and go talk to other firefighters or go hang out with my friends. And it's nice. And it is nice to try to have mentors in your life that can teach you about when to buy a home and stuff like that. Like for Sergeant Griffin, she's buying her first home. And I was like, we really need to get together on the elevation and the water runoff from are you at the bottom of the neighborhood or you're at the top of the hill. And I was like, those are major things.
Yeah. You don't think about that. You don't think about that.
You don't.
But right now, like we're not at the bottom of the hill, but we're like towards the bottom, and the people that live below us is like when it rains, it's so bad. Wow, it's so bad. Like it pools up in their yard and then their driveway and stuff. It's like, hey, I can't do nothing about it, dude. Like
I'm sorry,
you're at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, I'll throw you the flotation device. One for you.
Yeah, because I mean, I get it from my neighbors.
Yeah,
and then luckily my driveway does what it's supposed to do, and it drains
moves
down.
on down.
Yeah, it moves on down.
Yeah, just never good to be at the bottom of the bowl.
We
have we're building a water rescue simulator at the fire department, and we do actually get a good bit when it floods. We get water rescues in the Flint River a lot. Yeah, and it's usually people playing like, this looks fun. I can't swim. Let me go over here. And so we had some juicy ones last time it flooded. And, you just try when you're going in there, you get your life vest on and you do all your safety stuff. We have like the Georgia Search and Rescue team where sometimes we'll go to Fayetteville and help. We'll go to other agencies. They have like a big motel collapse and help people, but they're well equipped for it all. You just try to like keep your mouth shut. You don't get any Flint River in your mouth. Right. And you'll be good to go.
That's right. That's what's up, man. Dude, thanks so much for coming through. Shout out all your socials. Is it New Clantah on everything?
Yeah. So if you want to check me out online and see more of my stuff, I post most of my firefighter stuff on TikTok, and I do a ton of meme making and it's firefighter stuff on my meta profiles and stuff. But it's New Clantah, like NUKELANTA. So that's all across the board. And if you want to get in contact with me to become a firefighter, I'll schedule a phone call with you. I'll tell you when we're hiring. I'll help you with some other resources, but just newclantah@gmail.com. And thanks for checking out all the fun with me and Danny here. We had a great time.
Yeah. All right. So we're wrapping up the first episode of the podcast. I think we're going to go with Conversations in Clayco or Clayco Convos, something like that. But we'll develop that as we continue with more episodes and more guests. So check us out on all platforms. I think it'll be on YouTube. I don't know. I'll make a post about that, but stay tuned.